Yesterday we talked about the nature and also the arousing of that mindfulness. Here, the mindfulness here, they are heightenedly present state of mind, not falling into the memories of the past or planning into the future, and also not simple present mental state. Also, this mindfulness, they are in a way non-superficial. That means the mind has to be able to notice things clearer than normal. Also, we talk about acceptance as a part of the nature of mindfulness. So this acceptance, it accepts whatever that is pleasant or unpleasant, however disagreeable or agreeable to you. And also, we talk about mindfulness in the sense of confronting or face-to-face to the object. That means it brings the mind, the attention, go close to the object so that other mental states can work upon that object. And because of that face-to-face, the object seems to becomes clearer or bigger, stronger. Other words, also more painful. And also I mentioned about a bit on the guarding the senses. As the mindfulness become more stronger, continuous, we will find that our eyes and our hearing is not distracted to other objects, but stay on to it. Doesn't mean it does not know, it still know, but not distracted. Another quality that is important for the mindfulness is to understand how we can arouse that mindfulness immediately. Here, the quality of the object and the object has to be prominent or clear at that moment of time to you. Predominant means they are clearer at that moment compared to other objects. Prominent also, it can also mean that prominent for just for a short while, but the prominency can change to the next object. Or sometimes prominency may be the same for a few objects. So there are many ways this prominency will arise as we progress in this vipassana meditation. Now, tonight we go into another area which actually it turns that practice into actual vipassana. Together with it, it helps the mindfulness to become continuous. Here we look into the quality of wisdom, panya. Now, the word panya here has got different meanings as we go through the different aspects or different parts of the suttas. Sampajanya. Sampajanya is another word for that wisdom. The mind that able to discern one quality to another quality, that is also panya. Now when we use the word panya, for the vipassana, it uses during in the practice, during in the walking, sitting, it uses a small area of that panya, not entirely everything. But when we are not meditating, like for example, like right now, we are also exercising another area of panya. In the whole Buddhism, we can categorize this panya into a different aspect. But for the sake of this meditation, we categorize into three parts. In the whole suttas, the panya can be categorized in different categories. But in our meditation, we will divide them in just three. Mm-hmm. We usually use the word wisdom that arises through hearing or nowadays reading. The second one is the wisdom that arises through reflection, thinking. And the third type of wisdom that arises through direct experiences. Now, we go back to the first one. The first type of wisdom is that wisdom that arises through when you hear or when you read dhammas. But not every knowledge in the world is Dhamma. One of the few qualities of this Dhamma has the quality of timelessness. We use the word akalika in Pali. Timeless, it means that that particular knowledge or that particular understanding, it cuts across time. Not just only in this present it works, but in the future doesn't work or the past doesn't work. That means the Dhamma here, it cut across time. Every time it can be used. Now, for example, like understanding of karma and its effect. This understanding, again here, it cuts across time. You learn about anicca, dukkha, or anatta, for example. That also cut across time. You learn about the Four Noble Truths. Whether the Buddha arises or the Buddha is not there, that knowledge still remains. But there are knowledge in the world, it does not fall into this category. Now, let's say you learn about medical knowledge and medical understanding. If you happen to learn 50 years ago, maybe most of the thing cannot be applied right now. Or even like you understand like financial business and so on. Here you may use it, but maybe another 50 years in the future, if you are still alive, then you may not able to use it anymore because it's totally different. So a lot of our knowledge, of the worldly knowledge, although it is helpful for us right now, but those knowledge does not fall under Dhamma. So you may be very intelligent about the world. You'll be super smart, but you may have zero Dhamma. The second category of the Dhamma is that the Dhammas that you take up from the listening and reading about it, and then you bring it up and you think and you reflect on it. Here we reflect, we analyze, we intellectualize it, and to give us some degree of understanding. For example, we talk about karma, then you talk about, how is the cause like? How is the effect like? How are they connected in that way? Then you have this third category of wisdom. The third category of wisdom is the category where you have to directly experience the nature of this mental development. Here, this type of wisdom is divided into two parts. One, it belongs to samatha area. The other one belongs to the vipassana. In the samatha experiences, for example, you do metta. You also have to feel the metta, not just only thinking about metta, but this time you have to feel the metta arises. Then that means you are experiencing the metta as it is. So too, like if you go into deeper aspect of the development of samatha, you experience different level of jhanas, and that too has to be directly experienced. Now we come to the vipassana part. Now the vipassana part is now you are experiencing the qualities or the processes of this mind and body. There are so many different qualities in this mind and body. Therefore, it takes that wisdom to able to scrutinize from one, to differentiate from one to another and another and another. Now, when we come to this vipassana meditation, you already have been doing it, at least after listening to the interview. At least you are hopeful enough to able to do some meditation, at least for today, the one that I've seen for the interview. This, for the mind to able to discern from one to another, you need that foundation of mindfulness. You need that strong alertness of mind. Now take for example the walking meditation. You have one phase, you have two phase, and also you have the three phase walking meditation. If some yogi were to do just only one phase, right step, right step, left step, but the mind doesn't run. The mind can stay with the motion and so on. Compared to the next yogi, and he's doing the three phase, and he can able to differentiate pressure, hardness, softness, little toes got from feeling, big toes another feeling. So you see there's two different type. The first one is you're mindful, you're alert, you're clear, but you're not precise. The second one is that the person, the yogi, able to notice what is happening, but the mind is still in the present moment to able to exactly know what is happening. So that means the mind is exercising that quality of wisdom. Sometimes many of us in the past, when we do not know how to do walking meditation is just walking up, walking down, walking up again, walking down, walking round and round, and that's about it. Then they say that I'm doing vipassana. So you see how much you are missing over there. Then this like during in the sitting also the same thing. It's the same quality. For example, when the pain arises. In the past, sometimes I've heard of yogis that when the pain arises, you just learn to accept the pain. Be there, be good, be pleasant. I'm just accepting the pain. And that's about it. You know, Brother Dasana? The late Brother Dasana. So, he's the one who told me that in the past, he went to this meditation center somewhere in Asia. And he knows meditation, but when he went to that meditation center, exactly the pain, you are taught to just accept the pain, just at ease with the pain. You know the pain is there, just be like that, just be at peace with the pain. So here we know that the pain, if you pay attention to the pain got so many different qualities. Hard pain, soft pain, it changes, it get more, it get less, as you have seen it for yourself, some of you. And that is how you exercise the quality of that precision or thoroughness in the observation. Here, another example we can have is in the eating, between mindfulness and also thoroughly observing. Take for example the chewing process. Now, while you're chewing it, then you note chewing, swallowing. If you do that, it's already very good. Because it's before that you are not doing it. At least now you are doing it, which is good. But to me, it's not enough. This is where you bring another step forward, that you begin to notice the chewing and you feel it whether there is a change in the chewing process. For example, are you biting faster? Are you biting slower? Are you able to feel the different taste that arises, it comes and it change? Or are you able to feel the tongue that is moving the food around? Today, you already start to eating slower, which is good. Tomorrow will be even slower. So, but I'm not asking you to chew every process with such detail, but you have to exercise it once a while. Let's say you're eating 20 spoonful of food. If you were to do 50% of it thoroughly and chewing, noticing the process of what is happening, the movement of the tongue, the taste that is changing, and then finally when they're swallowing and everything disappear, the next process again. Just do 50% of what you chew thoroughly, which is excellent actually. And also, in other daily activities, not all the time you have to be so thorough, but once in a while, you just be thorough for that extra few seconds. Say for example, you turn on the tap or the faucet and you feel the water. Here, you just stay there for a short while just to feel the coldness or how the coldness is spreading onto the hands and how does it, the whole feeling of it, just for that extra few seconds. Then you are just bringing that thoroughness into a little bit more clearer compared just feeling the cold. So during in the sitting meditation, all the objects like rising and falling, while you are here, you are expected to pay attention to it as clear as you can. Now, in the walking, sitting and daily activities, how do we exercise that thoroughness? Now take the walking first. Now in the walking, the general rule of the thumb, general rule is that you begin to slow down. You slow down from faster and you go down into the slowest. For that mindfulness, for that thoroughness, for that precision to take place, the body needs to be relaxed. The body needs to be alert, clear. Without that relaxation, it's going to be difficult when you come to the precision of noting. Sometimes I've seen yogis, they are overzealous, overexcited to meditate. Every time they come to the walking meditation, immediately they start to become super slow. Now, if you do like this way, in the next 3 or 4 days, you're going to end up with all kinds of tension. Then you go back without much mindfulness, but you carry the tension back. I've seen yogis in the past that when they have so much tension, they do not know what to do. I mean, after the retreat, they have to go and see the doctor to get some ibuprofen or something very strong to overcome their tension. If you were to come back next retreat, you do the same thing again. Then after that, 1 or 2 more retreats, you're going to give up on this meditation. You have totally lost faith in the meditation, because there's a background, there's a fear that all this tension will come back again. So therefore, it is important that you do the one phase first, in order to relax the body. Once the body is more relaxed, slowly you go slower and slower until you begin to able to notice the sensation or the movements are clearer. When it comes to that slowness, how slow is slow? The slower is it, the slower the better? No, the answer is not. The answer is, as long as the mind can follow that slowness, then as the mind can follow that slowness, that means it's at the right synchronization of the mind and body. Sometimes some yogis go slower, but the mind cannot follow what is happening. So if it cannot follow it, that means the mind is going to go into tension, or is going to go into too much thinking or whatsoever. But if you are going too fast, but then therefore the mind cannot able to pick up the exact sensation is what is happening there. So therefore, it's your own experience. This is something I can teach you until that far. Other than that, you have to feel it for yourself. Sometimes one's walking can be very slow and the mind can follow it. But the next walking, you may not able to go that slow anymore because the mind has changed. So you have to learn to feel according to that present moment. So if once in a while, if you go slow and after that you find that you can't take it anymore, or the tension or difficulty starts to build up, then this time it's better for you to go back to faster. If there's more time after that, if you settle, then try to go slow again. So here, the purpose is to make sure that you are relaxed, and therefore when the mind is relaxed, the mind can be precise noticing what is going on and not building up all kinds of wrong tension. Now come to the sitting meditation. In the sitting meditation, while you're in the retreat, not talking about at home, when you're in the retreat, the moment you sit down is the immediate precision of noting. Here, precision of noting means that once you ready everything, you bring all the mindfulness from that walking, you bring it figuratively, as if like you put into your whole rising and falling. And the moment you put there, because the mind is alert, strong, then therefore the rising and falling also becomes clear. Now, if so happen, let's say, your walking path and your sitting is just next to each other, let's say, and while you finish the walking, here is to slowly bring our body, very slowly bringing the body to the sitting, and slowly you go down to it. That means you hold on to that mindfulness, and once everything is settled, then everything put into the whole rising and falling. But most of us, we don't do that. Yeah. Finish that walking, you'll be, let's go for a drink. And when you're drinking, you're not mindful. Or sometimes we go to the toilet, and again here we do it without mindfulness. Not that you cannot go or you cannot drink. But what I'm saying is that, can you able to maintain that sharpness into that walk, into that drinking, and into the toilet before you come back to the sitting? Usually most of people not able to do that. So my recommendation is this. When you finish your sitting meditation, you get up, take a drink as you need, and then go to the toilet, clear everything, then you start doing the walking. Do the walking. If you're not thirsty, if your bladder is still okay, then continue for that hour. That means you're totally bringing from that walking into the sitting. It's a recommendation, not a must. But it's a good recommendation. If not, if you were to hear me talking about this, the next retreat, I will not able to see you. Because it's, to some of us, may be too tough. Vipassana is already tough, but here is even tougher. It's all about changing a habit. Yeah? All our lazy habit into a more attentive, more continuous type of habit. Now, when it comes into the daily activities, in the daily activities, for you to able to be precise and thorough, the body has to be relaxed. For example, when you're sitting on the table, sitting on the chair while you're having breakfast or lunch, then that means the body is relaxed. That time, it has the condition for you to pay attention to it thoroughly. But at times, we cannot exercise that thoroughness. For example, like some of you, after breakfast, perhaps you have to wash the plate. You cannot wash like slowly, you got the 20 plates to wash. Then you don't have much time. Then that time, you do it more general with a mindfulness, but not so precise. Or you're taking food on the buffet line. You cannot be super slow. Everybody is waiting for you. 30 people. So you must know when for you to exercise that mindfulness and when for you to able to exercise more thorough. But let's say you're opening a door and nobody is beside you and nobody is waiting for you. Then that time you want to exercise a little bit longer and pay attention to how exactly you open. Then by all means do so. So we need that body. Overall, we need the body to be relaxed, but the mind is fully alert. And therefore, when it comes to the end of your retreat, there is good progress, and also the body does not carry all kinds of pain here and there, unnecessary pain here and there. So, you exercise that thoroughness as best as you can, because if you don't exercise that thoroughness, it won't come up. It has to be exercised. We go to another area of this wisdom factor, of this discerning mind. This is the area of intention. Now, a lot of times in the retreat, we hear intention here and there. But exercising it, a lot of times yogi don't do it. Now, in our instruction, in the basic instruction, it is always start off with that. Before you start walking, you notice the intention to walk, then only you start walking. Initially, during the Vipassana practice, noticing this intention feels quite superficial. I mean, why do I need to do all these things? Noting intention intention to walk, then only walk. Why don't I just walk without the intention? So in the beginning part, the state of that intention, the state of mind of that intention, they are not that clear compared to the movement of the leg. But nevertheless, it is good for us to start off with that intention first, even though it doesn't feel that much. Noticing this intention, one of the important aspects of this intention, especially for beginners, is that when you notice this intention, immediately your next movement, there will be mindfulness there. Every time tomorrow, if you were to do this intention, you notice this intention to walk, then only you start walking. You find that whether this is first phase or second phase or third phase, immediately the mind already is on the feet already. Sometimes when we do this walking, as we walk until towards the end, the intention doesn't come just before stopping. It may come 2 or 3 steps before you're going to stop. The mind already aware of that intention, then only 2 or 3 steps later, then it comes to a stop. Sometimes it comes in as just a word or a sentence. For example, you walk and then your mind thinks that, the mind knows that there's a wall there. Because you put the word, there's a wall there, is an intention already. If it's the end of a walk, for example, there's no wall, the mind knows that it has come to the end of a walk. So the mind already aware of that thought, that thought is an intention. Now, when we want to extend this intention, not just only in the walking, but also throughout the whole day. Here in the teachings of the Buddha, we have these 4 major postures. And what are the 4 major postures? So what? Why? Standing, sitting, walking, lying down, not sleeping, lying down. Some people say sleeping. It's just not sleeping. It's lying down with a full alertness. 4 postures here. I only can trust you with 3 postures. I cannot trust you with the last posture. When you want to change from one posture to another posture, for example, when you are standing into the walking, this is where you note the intention. From the walking, you want to go into standing. That is also, you note the intention. You want to from the sitting right now, and you want to get up into a standing posture. Here, before you get up, you noticed also the intention. Like in the dining hall, also the same thing. You have the chair. You're going to sit down. You put your tray down. This time, you note your intention to sit. Then only you slowly bring the body into sitting. Or even you want to get up from that chair and you want to go to the buffet line to take something. Don't just rush to there, but slowly noticing the intention, then only you get up and slowly you go. So therefore, when you notice this intention throughout the day, and you don't have to do every part of it, if you do some of it, you begin to see for yourself that immediately after the intention, the follow through of that mindfulness onto however the body is moving. But when it comes into a deeper progress, especially connected to the intention this time comes as a prominent object. That means right now, if you notice the intention, the actual consciousness of that intention arises and it passes away. Say, for example, again, when you want to start doing the walking, then while you're watching that standing, if the intention does not arise, the body will keep standing there until that consciousness arises. When it arises, that consciousness, then immediately the leg starts to walk. So when it comes in that way, and you begin to notice quite a lot of before this walking meditation, that mind states, that intention arises, then only you start able to walk. Then you will also notice without that intention, you will keep standing there. And sometimes as you pay attention, as you develop or the progress has taken place, maybe for example like the lifting, pushing, dropping, even every lifting, it comes with that intention. A clear intention arises, then only that lifting takes place. And then it comes to the end of that lifting, it hangs there for a while until the next intention that comes in and it starts the pushing. And then after that, it stops there. Next intention comes in, then only the dropping. Here, when you notice this intention, they come in naturally, not something that you force for that intention to come in. In other words, the intention, the intentional mind is as prominent as the movement of the leg. But if you are a beginner, you got to be careful of this intention. Although we say it right now, tomorrow, don't start to note every intention, little intention here, pushing intention, dropping intention. You're going to get tension, not intention. So in the beginning process, you note this movement first. Don't worry about the intention yet. The noticing the intention for a beginner is always in the beginning of the walking. Eventually, all this intention will slowly, it will become more clearer as you progress. Another area of the intention, it's called the minor intentions. Say, for example, you're sitting on the chair on the dining hall, and while you're sitting there, you want to take your cup. So once in a while, instead of just stretching the hand, you're aware of that intention first, then only you start stretching. When you notice this thing, all this minor intention, you take note of them as best as you can, but you don't have to do it every movement with that intention. So when you notice this intention, a lot of your movements will automatically become much lower. Therefore, you must have enough patience to exercise this thing. Just for per day, you do it a few times here and there, it will be very helpful for you. Now here, when we notice this intention, a lot of times as we go further into noticing this intention, then even a stretch of a hand like that, then it goes into a many staggered movement. Every staggered movement, every little small movement, intention comes with it. Then it stops. The next movement before it takes place, the mind is there. Then move. Before you take the cup, it may just take you 5 minutes just to reach there. So don't underestimate these movements, or this intention, because when it happens, you begin to see the nature of cause and effect directly. Or the word is conditionality. The Pali word is paccaya. So you begin to see them directly. And also at the same time, while you are noticing this movement, this cause, effect, and so on, other words, the non-self aspect, one aspect of the non-self also become evident to you. Because that time it's not I that is wanting it to move. It's just the mind arises, movement takes place. So that time also, without the mind, the movement does not take place. So in that aspect, the non-self, the nature of this non-self becomes directly experienced rather than you just heard about it or you think about it. So don't underestimate noticing this intention. It will be very helpful for you from, for this whole of this vipassana and also into the future of your practice. So in other words, make the effort, be patient, and then noticing this intention, it will help you to make that mindfulness to become continuous. So we stop here for tonight, and we'll continue another aspect on discerning of the mind tomorrow.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.